Díomh a chuirde agus fáilte arás go dtí damn parenting. No, don't adjust your headsets. It's me, your host Eva, and I wanted to welcome you back to Damn Parenting Podcast, as today I want to share something from my homeland, a tradition from Ireland that feels especially important right now. It's called Nollaig, mBan, Women's Christmas, also known as Little Christmas or Little Women's Christmas. And if you've never heard of it before, or the Irish language, I have a feeling many of you will instantly understand why it exists. Nollaig, mBan is celebrated today, January the 6th, the final day of Christmas. This is the 12th day of Christmas, even though these days social media bombards us with the 12 days, sometimes starting in late November. But traditionally, today marks the true end of the festive season. And it was the day when women were finally encouraged to rest. It's winter. I mean, look outside. It's cold and dark and snow. You know, it makes complete sense. This was never meant to be a time for rushing forward. We talk about the new year starting now, but that idea comes from calendars shaped around trade and business and men. Historically, the year never began in January. It began in March with spring, light, and renewal. So January was always meant to be a pause, or a closing, or a moment to stop, not to start again at full speed. And in that pause, women were finally given a day. In Ireland, today was the moment when women who had carried Christmas in every single sense stepped back. No cooking, no hosting, no cleaning up after everyone else. And instead, the women gathered together for a cup of tea or a drink or a conversation or for laughter or for dancing. And most importantly, for recognition. This is not a new idea. This tradition has been spoken about in Ireland for well over a century, passed down through the generations long before we had languages like mental load or burnout. Even then, women needed a day. And what I love most about sharing this today is where we are. Here in the Netherlands, a country made up of over 180 nationalities, many of us raising our kids far from home, we're now blending traditions or borrowing ideas or just creating something new. And so I hope truly this might be one Irish tradition many of you feel happy to take into your own lives and into your own future. Because no matter where you're from, so many of us share the same experience. As women and especially as mothers, so much of what we do is unseen. It doesn't come with a paycheck and it doesn't show up on a to-do list once it's done, but it's the work that holds everything together. It's anticipating needs before they're spoken. Remembering what runs out, managing emotions, ours and everyone else's, and keeping life moving quietly in the background. And at Christmas, that invisible work becomes heavier, not lighter. It's the thinking, the planning, figuring out what presents to buy and for whom and where to get them, and figuring out when to get them and wrapping them and organizing the photos and sending the cards and holding the expectations, holding the emotions, holding it all. Yet January arrives and suddenly we're told it's time to reset, to be motivated, to start again and to do more. But winter was never meant to be a season of rejuvenation. It's a season of rest. If you look at nature, nothing is blooming right now. Things are dormant. They're gathering energy. They're waiting. And yet so many women feel pressure to push through exhaustion, to get back on track and to carry on as if nothing was spent. Nollaig, mBan reminds us of something older and wiser, that after a season of giving, there must be a season of receiving. After carrying so much, there must be space to put things down. So if you're feeling tired, that's not a failure. It's information. And this is not the time to demand more of yourself. It's the time to go slow, to soften, to rest, and without guilt. That too is work worth honoring. So to every mother listening, I know the work you did. I know the effort, the emotion, and the exhaustion you put in. And I know many of you probably already took the decorations down at the weekend, not because you want to rush it, but, well, simply life just doesn't pause. I want you to know still, today matters. You deserve recognition. You deserve rest. And you deserve a moment that says, we see what you carry. And maybe, just maybe, this can become something you claim for yourself going forward. Your own Nollaig, mBan. A tradition that reminds you that you don't have to manage everything all the time. So from me and from my homeland, happy Nollaig na mBan. May this tradition travel. May it land gently in many homes. And may it remind women everywhere that their work, their care, and their presence matter. Thank you for listening to Damn Parenting Podcast. And if this episode resonates, I hope you will share it and maybe start a new tradition of your own.